So Fellerin sets down a ball bearing and gives it a small magical nudge towards the field. The metal sphere makes contact with the magic and is immediately grabbed by an unseen force and pulled at blistering speeds towards the center of the phenomenon, where it disappears in a bright flash. Jenica looks at him. You really want to go into that? He shrugs and looks back at her and responds, I'm open to suggestions. So, you guys had just come through the Widow's Pass, where you found a very, what looks like at one point in time was an extraordinarily well-hidden chamber beneath a cavern that had been most likely long used as a waypoint during the terrifying walk down this road across the mountains, but the magical boundaries separating the ceiling of the cavern below from the bottom of the well in the cavern above had begun to break down. Inside of that, you found a gigantic empty space, void of almost anything except for bodies of unfortunate travelers who'd fallen down into this cavern below. It appears that this place was at one point in time a tomb for an ancient red dragon that is been relegated out to myth and legend to some degree now, but you found a tomb of his. There was no bones, no treasure, no nothing, just a mysterious phrase about his final resting place and a very deadly magical barrier protecting people from entering it any way other than the way you came in. Deciding there was very little else you could do at that point, you moved on down the Widow's Path, transitioned into the northern valley of Balanovia, where you found where used to be the Wizard's Tower is now a gigantic spherical crater 2 miles wide, completely smooth on the edges to the point where it is curved around the mountainsides as well. That's where you guys are at. You're standing on a precipice overlooking the whole monkey business. And that's it. So throw the map out there real quick just for points of reference.
That's right. How far do you think we are from...
It'll take you a bit to get down the mountain. The path is pretty switchbacky here, but you're probably a day's travel from the edge of the crater.
Okay. What time is it now? We rested outside of the death.
You did. It would be sunset now. It was a full day's travel from where you were at out of the valley.
Oh, so it would be about time for a rest?
Yes, it would be.
Okay. Let's find a place for camp then, I guess.
Okay. So you guys set up for camp. You begin to take a rest.
Hey, Mav, can I have my eyeball back?
Yeah.
The magical green gem eyeball trinkety.
He also starts pulling off his boots and just kind of lumps them over to Otheg.
If you want movement boots, you can have mine.
No, he's got attunement items, like that I want to be attuned to.
Oh, okay. I would like to, as we are getting ready for bed, I would like to contact the Weave Guardians.
Okay.
I almost said the Mage Weave. It's like, what am I missing? That's not right. The Weave Guardians, just give them an update. I'm not looking for anything, but just let them know.
Okay.
The whole tower's gone. We'll just let them know what we see, and also I would like to contact Marilee with the Sending Stone. I'll tell her about the dragon's name, Fistandantalus or whatever his name is, and
Fistandantalus.
I know that's not him. And let her know that I would, first of all, to see what kind of research she has about this dragon, about some sort of cult that would be possibly keeping tabs on this dragon, as well as if there is Just to let her know that at some point we might want to go and dispel that.
Sure. She responds with, "Well, that's a lot."
Yeah.
And she,
Also, I love you.
okay, cool. And she's like, "Oh, well, that's the first time you've said that." And
No, it's not. It is not. I say it when I'm drunk all the time.
so she responds that she'll get to work on that, and she will pass that along to the people who are already working on studying the Pentagon cult as well.
Okay.
So you have successfully passed along information. You guys make perception checks while you're on watch, please.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty bad.
Classic!
Yep, terrible perception check for Oathing. Average.
That is just average.
Yep, average for Thanak, so just another day. So, Mav, in the middle of your watch at night, you could swear several things go flying through the air above you, about, I don't know, 20, 30 yards above you. You hear buzzing sounds and maybe some whirring and clicking, and then it dissipates, but it zips over your camp a couple different times.
Okay. Ever heard anything like that before?
I'm going to go with no. You have never heard anything like that before.
You said it was like a buzzing sound?
Yep.
Did we ever? Maybe I'm screwing up my biology. Do the 3 crane? Do they fly?
Some of them do. Very rarely, though.
But either way, we didn't see Ziz or whatever his name fly.
No.
Okay.
Like elder females that run hives or clutches inside of a hive can fly, but most can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it would be out of character for me to assume that might be a crane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the style of, like, as good of, I don't know, Mav could make a performance check to see how well he communicates to you what he heard. But even if it's really good, oh, it's terrible. He's like,
Not average.
he's the guy in the mechanic shop trying to make the sounds that his car is making.
What does it sound like? Come on, tell us.
So it's not me. You guys are like, yeah, no, that doesn't sound like anything we've ever heard. Maybe if you do it louder. But Dawn comes, and you guys are.
Oh, it's like, who's Dawn?
You guys are ready to move, and what do you want to do?
We should. I want to make a point that that we both did reattune to our correct items.
Okay.
But let's.
That all 3 of us reattuned to our correct items.
Yeah. Yeah, you're correct. I would like to. Gosh, that's gonna take forever. How long does that last?
What?
Detect magic. It's half hour.
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Ugh.
Yep. Takes 10 minutes. Lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah. So here's what I would like to do. I would like to make our way, and then
10 minutes at a time.
Well, I don't want to be that quite ridiculous with it, but once we start getting close to it, I definitely want to start doing detect magic.
Okay.
Even if it's just to see if there's any residual stuff left over, but I don't want to walk into something that could vaporize us.
Okay. So you're headed for the crater then?
I think so, yeah, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
Are we able, because we were a little high up, right?
Yeah, you're pretty high up.
I'm looking at this, is that a town?
Yeah, that's Baseto.
Pacetto, how far away is? I mean, because I don't see a road on here unless we followed the river. I guess
There is not a road. There were no more roads past Pacetto. If you wanted to go to the Magus Tower, you usually took a boat. Because the river used to come from underneath the Magus Tower. It was built over the river. It'd come down out of the mountains. They built the tower over the river, and so.
Well, I guess here's the question: do we want to just go straight for the crater, or do we want to hike it over to the town to see if anybody knows anything?
How far is the town?
The town would be 3 days.
I didn't know what spell it was. What was that?
3 days to the town, 1 day to the crater.
I mean, we'd take significant, because if we went 3 days to the town, we'd end up having to go 3 days back. Right? Unless we hired a boat, but even then, best case scenario, we're still talking 4 or 5 days. What do you guys think?
They were sent to the tower?
Yeah, Jenica and Fellerin were sent to the tower.
You want to go to the town for some reason, though?
I was thinking that maybe they would have more information, because it's while it's far enough away to where under normal circumstances people are probably not going to see what's going on at the tower. However, this crater is huge.
And it's been about a month now, and it was a world event. Most everybody knows that this tower went goodbye when the Nightmare Lord came up out of the hells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people might have seen something, but they might not have any idea what even they saw.
I feel like people, I don't know. Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. I feel like my initial instinct is that people would just know that it happened, not why it happened. It's a Magus Tower, after all. It would require someone from, the only people that would have known would have been in the crater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely, excuse me. I just think maybe, and I'm not advocating that we should go there. I'm just saying if we do go there, there might be a possibility of gaining some information that we wouldn't get otherwise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would vote that we go to the crater.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Alright. So you guys start heading towards the crater. You come down out of the mountains. You hit the forest floor about midday, on the back half of midday. And so you start heading north, and I need perception checks from you guys.
Hey now.
That's not bad.
Yeah, the AC and the +1 are from my cloak, not from anything else.
If you had a comment on it, you would know that, but that's okay.
I mean, yeah, but that's for me, not for anybody else.
I thought it was a spell, so I was just checking to make sure. But
it sort of is a spell, but it's not. It's from my cloak.
No, that's cool.
So, Thanak, at first, you guys, and so you got other guys that noticed too, but you weren't really you weren't sure you were looking at what you thought you were looking at. You begin to see weird things. And this is a foreign country, so sometimes some of it you started to chalk up to, well, maybe that's just the way trees grow in this forest.
Right.
But there comes a point where there is definitely something wrong with the area. You are tipped off when you stumble upon a grouse nest as you're tromping through the forest, and the birds, like grouse do, they flutter up to fly away from you, but when they fly away from you, they are flying backwards. They're facing forwards, and they're beating their wings like they should move forward, but they move backwards. And then you're like, what the heck? And you are starting to notice more and more things like that. You see trees with their root systems starting to spring up out of the bark. There are insects moving in really strange patterns across the ground. There is something really, really weird going on.
Okay, with my knowledge of arcane, as well as my limited knowledge of the Fae, with that book that I read from Phil, and also any other information that I would have shared with Phil and whatnot. Would I be able to do like an Arcana check to see is this?
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
At advantage?
Yeah, sure. You point it out, and you guys begin to talk about it. So 24, that's really good. Throw 27 in there. Alright, so it's pretty early on in you guys investigating it. You see some things, you begin to talk about the different things you've all seen, and as you continue forward, you realize this isn't a Fey style event. Like, Fey events usually happen, like, their social laws are pretty screwed up, and what may or may not be an intelligent creature is often a mess and a little cockamamie, but this is just almost like physics is wrong with what's going on here. It's definitely, you believe, caused by a magical effect, probably the immense amount of magic that was detonated that did this to the forest, but there's just bizarre things happening that you begin to see things that defy gravity. Rocks float as if they're affected by levitate. You find a flash frozen deer, but the area around it is all scorched by fire. It's obviously arcane, but it's not Fey.
Okay. I was thinking Fey specifically because it was a Fey event. Fey world event, basically.
It was.
So this would seem to be possibly in response to whatever.
With the 27 check, I'd say that whatever has happened, when the Fey being was released from his prison, it just set off an arcane event.
Yeah. That
has screwed with the way the universe works here.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like lighting a match in an ammo stockpile.
Mm-hmm.
And just all kinds of chaos happened.
That's funny because that is the second time today that illustration's been used. I've used that with Weston earlier. It's really weird that you said that. Yeah, that's cool. Sort of.
Alright, I will... How far away are we?
Probably about half an hour maybe.
Alright, I will cast Detect Magic. I'll cast it as a ritual, if that's alright. And just to see if there's any kind of lingering pockets that we might want to avoid or anything like that.
Okay. You cast Detect Magic and the forest lights up like Christmas Town. It is intensely magical in this area, but it moves, it swirls, it's not localized, it's not coming off of an effect. It's almost like in older cartoons and drawings when somebody puts movement or smell waves on something.
So I am having a psychedelic reaction.
You are.
I just had a bunch of smooth shrooms.
This is super trippy. You see patches of it are rushing one direction while another's coming out another way. It clings to you guys. You have obviously walked through patches of magical power, and now it's clinging to you like dye in colorization. And it kind of disperses off of you like if you could see smells coming off of people and pheromones, this would be it.
Is it active? I mean, active in the sense of like... Here's what I'm asking. Is it something that Mav could suck up?
You don't... Oh. Yes, if he could identify where it's sourced.
Okay, so he couldn't just, like, cleanse us from the lingering...
I think he could make an attempt to do so, but it would be harder because he's not seeing the magic actually activating at a location.
Sure.
It's definitely within his skill set to do, but it's harder because when a spell's being activated, it's coming right at the focal point of somebody's focus or their hands.
Yeah.
Here, it's
and this is just everywhere.
It is just everywhere.
Okay.
So does Thanak get the impression that
that we're all gonna die? Yes.
Like, miasma of magic that's surrounding us, like, is it going to take hold and affect us eventually? Like, it has the other things that we can see around us, or?
That is a distinct possibility. He would be able to realize that you just don't know. Why are we all watching a monkey clean itself?
I have some magic behind my ear. Could you get it for me?
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Yep, it's Mav right now.
Let me pick this off of you. And you can see concentrated patches of it. And what's really interesting about it is typically when you cast the Detect Magic School, you can identify schools of magic, and there is some flavor of that to this, but this is more raw.
Like it's preschool.
Yeah. Actually, you would have seen this type of phenomenon before back in the tower when you met Marilee. This is very similar to the tear in the weave and what was coming out of that tear.
Okay. Did we? I'm remembering because it feels so long ago. We were able to identify what caused that. Correct? It was an errant spell.
Yeah, she caused that.
Yeah.
She was trying to summon an elemental like way beyond her skill level, and that was
and it just
and she brought a mana ooze out of it.
Yeah, she did.
That she did.
It was a level 1 wizard casting a level 7 spell. That's why we don't do that.
No bueno.
This is creepy, y'all. Alright, I guess we move forward cautiously. Would I be able to... oh my gosh, this is going to be irritating. It's actively moving around, right? So if we sit still, any thicker areas could potentially move towards us or through us.
Make a perception check at advantage. I'll give you a minute to sit down and study the area around you before your detect magic goes off. So, it's moving. It does look like the stuff that moves is not as concentrated.
Okay.
And there are patches and areas you can see up ahead where the magic looks wilder and thicker.
Alright. This isn't exactly how Counterspell works, but would I be able to redirect some of that stuff?
Using Counterspell?
Yeah. Because my Counterspell can redirect the spell, so I'm wondering if I'd be able to shift it somehow.
You can try. I'll let you make an Arcana check to attempt that. I think that's within reason of a non-combat use of that spell. 17. Yeah.
You have advantage on that.
I don't know if I would on that.
Yeah, that would be more of his own personal skill. You could give him guidance on it, though, for sure.
I would give him guidance.
Alright.
So 20.
20.
Yeah, you definitely, using your Counterspell ability, believe you could push it using Counterspell.
Okay. So I don't want to do anything about that quite yet because I have limited usage of that. But if we get to a point where it's just too thick or something, I might be able to move that around so we don't. I'm worried about the deer you said that was frozen, like the flash frozen deer.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago was that? Because this happened a month ago.
Yep. It's hard to tell. From the look of it, it happened yesterday. The way the ground's charred, there's no regrowth there, and the deer did not melt. It showed no signs of melting, but it was cold to the touch. It was obviously frozen.
So here's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned that there is just a ton of raw. This magic's raw. Raw magic that is just waiting to be activated, and like it's possible that this deer just happened to be running by, and like this whole thing is just a trap waiting to happen. I mean, like I don't know if because this event happened a while ago and things seem to still be very charged. I would like to basically inch forward with Detect Magic up, and just to make sure that we don't walk into anything that's gonna electrocute us or freeze us or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I'll take it.
You continue to make some progress. You're heading forward, and then you above the tree line, and you can't make it out because the trees here are quite thick. There are several things flying above the tree line. Mav recognizes the sound they're making as the sound he heard in camp last night, and then he tries to mimic it again. Obviously, yep, as they go rushing by. But there's 2-3 dozen of them go zooming over your heads.
Slightly better.
Yeah. At least now that you have some context to what he's trying to do. And so now you're all standing around trying to make the noises. It's like, oh no, it sounds more like this. But they have flown off to the northwest.
Should we follow the buzzing? Or continue on our own?
Say it again, should we what?
Follow the buzzing?
What direction are the buzzing does it seem to be going?
Northwest. More west than northwest. You guys are at the point of the arrow there, so.
West, northwest?
Yeah, more that way.
Are we able to get an eye on what the sound is?
No, it's well. You can look up and through the gapping of the trees, you can see that they're winged creatures. You do see arms and legs. They're kind of thickish. I don't want to quite call them fat. That's not polite, but you can't make out like
they're thick with 2 C's.
Yeah, what kind of creatures they are.
I say we go over towards the lip of the crater to see if maybe we can get a better eye on what is above us.
While proceeding cautiously, as you said before.
Yeah.
Okay. So doing it that way, casting Detect Magic out as a ritual and moving to the next place, it takes you a bit longer to reach the edge of the crater. You reach it at sunset. You were hoping to have some daylight left. But the magical anomalies have definitely intensified. And it's, to some degree, it is getting harder and harder for you to concentrate and pull off your ritual. Once you start to cast it, there is a push against your ability to manipulate magic in this area. And if you feel like it, being that you're casting it as a ritual, so it's more repetitive and you're invoking the magic in a slower, more concentrated pace, you feel like that's one of the reasons you were successful, you might have a very hard time using actual spell work here. Because spell work is more instant.
Right, yeah. I will let Mav know about that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was reading something else. That spell work is more difficult.
It might be. You're not sure yet.
Instantaneous spell work. Ritual spells are still difficult, but they
Less difficult.
Yeah.
Due to the stretching out and the concentration that it takes to do a ritual, it doesn't seem to be quite as hard. But then again, you haven't cast a spell, so you don't quite know what it's going to do.
I suppose. Could I do an Arcana check to? Well, I guess you probably just told us that. I'm debating casting a spell, something simple, just to see.
I'm gonna cast Aid on the three of us.
Okay.
Didn't you already cast it on us though?
It lasts 8 hours, so typically.
I just assume you cast it on.
Like right as the day one.
We can do that. Otherwise, I'll just cast Bless and.
Well, I'm gonna cast because that's only gonna last a minute.
Sure. I can cast something longer. I can do Shield of Faith for 10 minutes.
Well, I'm gonna cast this on myself because it lasts an hour. So it would I might actually get a benefit out of it. I'm gonna cast Baroner's Blessing.
Okay.
Does it work?
Make an Arcana check for me.
Also, the reason why I was thinking about doing is if there's some weird feedback, I have more hit points than you. That I would be, in theory, be able to take it more than you would.
In theory. So you go to cast this spell, and Mav, as soon as he starts to cast a regular spell, you feel all around you like magic is rushing towards this place. You feel it passing through you. You, without expending any of your ability, you are almost certain you could fully recharge with the amount of magic that is swirling around you right now. And you watch as Thanak magically lights up like a Christmas tree. Now, your spell goes off at 3 times the strength it normally would.
Alright.
And you watch... Yeah, you watch as a split opens up right in front of where you're casting, and you watch as tendrils of magic begin to crawl out, and they push this split open wider, and something is coming out of the tear in the weave that you have just created by casting this spell. So you guys roll initiative.
Oh, what did you do? What did you cast?
I cast oops, wrong one. It's functionally Armor of Agathis, but it does Radiant instead of Ice.
You cast a protective spell and now we're getting attacked. That's great.
Yeah, I mean that's all right because it's Oops. Yeah, that's right. All right, roll initiative. You said.
Mm-hmm.
Hey now.
Yeah. So this thing begins to take form, and it takes the form coming out of the portal like some extraordinarily long tendril, and it forms. It's got like a face that forms at the front of it as it comes out. So,
does it? Where is it located as far as we are concerned? Assuming that we were somewhat spread out.
It would be right in front of you.
Yeah, I think he said it was right in front of you when you...
That's what I thought, but I didn't know if he meant the U3 or U Thanak.
No, it's mostly you, Thanak, so...
Okay.
I don't think we'll need a map for this. Maybe we do. Actually, we probably should. Tactically, it's just smart. So let me pop.
Yeah, that way when I pull my thing out of the abyss, we have a second one on the map.
We know where to put it.
Andy, every time I look over to you, you look like you're getting shorter and shorter.
The problem is like I'm tired, and so like I'm trying to get comfortable, but not too comfortable that I fall asleep.
Right?
Yeah.
Lean back.
Okay.
Whoa, that thing's weird.
That's gross.
Yeah.
I mean, not the grossest thing we've ever seen, but...
No, I could bring out the jute worm.
No, don't. That's the first thing I think of every time.
This looks like the spirit of the jute worm.
Yeah, kind of. Could be.
This is what goes to heaven after you kill the jute worm.
Alright, so, Thanak, you are up first.
Okay. I will take a whap at it. Does this thing bleed?
No, it does not.
I assume not.
Oh, I really want to crit.
Oh no, we lost Andy.
Oh,
He was adjusting and he
oh, did he hit the power button?
He might have, because he's froze and things are gone. So I need you to make a strength saving throw after that first hit. Sorry, I was looking at Andy. I didn't realize you were still rolling on my critter.
Well, I need to make 2.
You will need to make another one, unless you don't want to hit it the second. Oh, don't worry
No,
about it.
I definitely want to hit it.
Yeah. So what you're experiencing as you hit this thing is there is a very strong pull on your weapon as it connects with this creature. It's just connecting with it tries to pull it out of your hands. You don't know where it's going to pull it to, but it is definitely trying to yank it.
I will tell Othig, try a non-magical weapon against him.
Okay.
Now, I'm worried that won't do any damage, but that also might mean you try to take it. So, we'll see what happens.
Alright.
Alright, so let's see. I mean, you can go and go. Andy's not up quite yet, so we'll get...
Yeah.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah. I'm done. Oh, I should actually move towards.
Yeah, you should. I'm gonna use a pincer.
Hey, welcome back.
Oh, thanks. Apparently, I disconnected my power.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
Called it.
Yeah, we thought that might have been the case. So when Thanak hit this thing with his maul, he felt a very strong pull, like this thing was trying to yank Thanak's weapon out of its hand just from contact.
I should ask you that. How strong did the pull feel?
Oh, very strong.
Very strong. Okay.
Yep. Your saving throws were really high, but it felt strong.
Right. That was my question. Like I wasn't worried about losing the save, but it was one of those things where,
Yeah.
like, how strong of a pull is it?
Mm-hmm. Othig, you do not feel the pull when you hit it with a non-magical weapon.
Alright. Now we know. Oh, I'd get to roll that at advantage. Whoops.
Yeah, you would.
And then my second attack.
There's a crit.
Hello!
But unfortunately, Thanak guessed right that a non-magical weapon does not do as much damage.
Alright, well those are my 2 hits.
Alright, so then it is the Weave Tracker's turn, who... Like, you watch as, like, little tendrils come out of its body and as you're fighting it, and they're kind of, like, fanning out, and they kind of all flow in one direction, and they focus on Othig, and it rushes you, going to hit you, but it looks like it's trying to hit your stowed equipment or your feet. It's after the magical items. It's pretty obvious that that's what it's trying to do.
Annie's over there dancing.
Mike, do I still have time to use?
To use what? You cannot parry without your polearm. It is a polearm specific skill.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Let's see. So it attempts its face is like looking right at you, and a pseudopod pops up out of its side, and it attempts to reach around the back and grab a hold of your stowed glaive, but you push yourself out of the way before it can do that, and it does not have any effect on you. However, you do feel magical, like you feel like something in your pouches is pulling towards it, and you hear a cork pop, and you watch as red fluid is beginning to drain out of your potion vial, and this thing is sucking it up.
A-hole.
That's funny because I don't have any.
Oh, you don't have any potions?
Nope. Nope. I'm at 0 for both of them.
It's
Really?
actually sucking at the poison.
Yeah.
Wyvern poison.
I was like, man, if this thing could automatically like create potion though, and then take it, now that'd be something.
Alright, well, you feel like it's magically rifling around in your crap, and it's disappointed at your lack of stuff.
Right on.
This is the most unprepared adventuring group I've ever come across.
For real.
Is it still like in the void?
Yes,
Void?
it is tethered. Its tail goes into the void. It's definitely like that thing from the movie The Abyss. Yep, it's in the water. It's like coming out of a portal.
Would Math be able to either try to suck up it or the portal's magic to close it?
You can try either one. There's definitely enough magic radiating from these two creatures for you to attempt that. Well, not two creatures, these two phenomenon. One's definitely a creature, the other's a phenomenon.
He is going to attempt to suck up the weave tracker magic.
Okay. Make an attack roll on it. That's going to do it. You may roll 10d6 of damage against this creature.
Yikes.
Oh, there's a lot of sixes in there.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Okay. 44 damage. That is going to kill this thing outright. It basically, you grab a hold of it with your hands as you draw its power into it. You're going to suck up 8 levels of spell, though.
Ooh, buddy. Okay.
So it dies, and the portal, the tear snaps shut.
And well, crap.
No casty spells. No casty. Casty is a no-no.
Yes. I'm going to attempt to cast a spell.
No.
All right, make a Arcana or a Religion check, as would either would be okay for your class. 17. Okay, so
Can I use guidance?
You can, because you know you're going to have to do this. So, isn't guidance a spell though? Guidance is a cantrip.
Oh, it is a cantrip. I don't want to do that.
No.
I'll use my war gong.
Okay, fair enough. So you manage at 18. So I'm going to make a roll, and you feel the magic rushing around you again. Danak, you have detect magic up still constantly right now at this point, basically. And you see it all swirling around you guys like a vortex, like you're in a tornado of magic, and then it just peters out and goes away. And Mav, you do manage to get your spell off.
Okay, so I have Death Ward on me, and then I'm running over here.
Don't go too far from me, because I'm going to try something.
And then there's an explosion.
Okay. Roll.
Or you're just detonating.
Yeah.
You're just detonating.
Well, go ahead and roll your damage. Whew. That's not too bad at all. Mav, you experienced something. You've detonated plenty of times before. When the Order was training you, they pushed you to detonation over and over again. And it hurts. It's painful. I want you to double that damage. And you still feel like you got away lucky because you flatten all of the trees around you. It's almost like your explosion ignites the air around you, and everything just, like, some of the closer trees are just shredded, others are just knocked down. You guys are standing back going, oh, whoa, crap, oh, what the heck just happened? And you're kind of standing in your own little mini crater now.
Mavis just kind of brush himself off and go, okay, so special cases only.
Yeah.
Seeing that, and seeing him standing in a crater, do we have a better understanding of maybe what happened up ahead?
No, it's a different kind of crater. I probably should not have used the word crater to not have led you to believe that is what caused it.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, there's a blast zone around Mav.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you still want to go forward?
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. What could possibly go wrong?
I mean, Othic's kind of already freaked out about magic in general, but yeah.
How does it feel about watching Mav blow up some trees?
It's pretty off-putting.
Understatement. I love it. So you guys continue forward. You're pushing on towards it closer, and you begin to hear the sound of the buzzing, flapping sound again. And breaking through the tops of this trees this time, you see about a dozen small, roundish creatures. These are very similar to what you saw flying over before, but they're smaller. They're little metal balls with wings, and they have two arms and legs sticking out of them, and one big eye in the center of the ball. They're made of metal, and they are all like surrounding you guys, buzzing around you. And are you shooting them?
No.
Oh, what are you doing? This is going to be bad. And they start to talk about, you hear them all chattering about contamination and things are out of order. It's just a chain of phrases that things need to be put back into rights, and a flap opens up like where their mouth would be if they had a nose and mouth in their body, and they just start to shoot out pink fluid all over you guys.
Great.
Awesome.
Do you want to do it? Yeah, this is your opportunity to be...
I want to not have that be on me.
Right?
Like, so I'll state the obvious. What is that? Like, I'm asking the flying things that are by us.
Can I cast Umbrella?
I'm expecting that they will respond, basically.
I am gonna put my shield above my head though.
Okay. You go to block yourself, and they break formation, and one of them, as it's just shooting out this pink fluid, basically vomiting on you. Like, they shoot down and they spin around you to make sure they coat you well. When Othig yells out, "What are you?" They say they're hazard drones. They're here to contain the hazard, and then they just fly off.
Gosh. Come back!
Fennec, can you cast
No.
Detect Magic again?
Actually, as soon as you were hit with the fluid, Detect Magic went down.
Alright.
Saw that coming.
Okay. I want to scoop some of this up in
I've got plenty of vials.
I was gonna say in an empty vial.
I've got lots of empty vials.
Yeah.
Okay. You start to scoop up the stuff, and you're squeezing it out of your your sleeves and everything else. It kind of has a consistency like an icy.
Okay.
Not a slushy to be confused. So it's more foamy, and as you're trying to work with it, it starts to kind of crackle and pop, and it's obviously breaking down.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. You don't think you'll be able to contain any of it and retain it in the useful form.
In the useful form, that's fine, but at least I'll be able to have some and maybe analyze.
Yeah, you basically you fill a vial with it, and as it breaks down, instead of being a vial full of it, it's just a real little bit at the bottom. And it's definitely a complete liquid at the bottom instead of a foam.
Okay, that's fine.
GIF. Like when it stops moving, the face he's making is just just something.
The purpose for this would be to bring it home and possibly recreate it at a later point. Okay. But they leave. How many were there? It was
about a dozen of them.
So they all leave. Were we able to see which direction they were coming from and which direction they went off to?
The west.
Then they were coming.
They came from the west and they returned to the west. It was pretty easy to spot them coming with that giant field of trees gone.
Yeah.
It was only a 30-foot radius or diameter.
Do we want to follow these things and see where they're coming from? I'm actually kind of interested. They seem to be, like they said, containing the phenomenon, whatever. So I
mean, we could, but we don't know. We don't know how far we're going to have to go. We don't know. I mean, we have a general sense of direction, but.
Well, I think if they are trying to contain what's happening here, they're probably not going to be too far from this whole thing in the first place.
Yeah, maybe.
So we're probably going to have a hike either way, but...
Well, if we're going to have a hike either way, do you want to get to the middle first and then go west?
Well, can we see what's in the middle of the crater at this point?
We're pretty close to the edge of the crater now.
Yeah, you could. It'd be about another half hour, 15 minutes north to get to the crater, as far as your estimation goes.
Sure. And we can see across the crater, can't we?
Yeah. When you get there, you should be able to theoretically. There's nothing in the way.
Yeah.
If it's a 2-mile wide crater, how, do we see, or are we able to see now, how far down it is? I mean, this is going to be like scaling a mountain.
When you get there, you'll have a better sense of it, but from up on the mountain, it looked completely spherical. So if it's 2 miles wide, it is probably 2 miles down as well.
Yeah, that's going to be hard goings.
Especially if it's smooth. Let's get to the lip. Let's get to the lip. We'll see what's going on.
Okay.
We have to strap some pitons to our boots.
So you get to the lip of the crater. You can see it through the trees. It's not quite what you expect, because you expect as it's a crater, you thought maybe there'd be more of a blast zone like there was around Mav. But it's not like that at all. It's wherever this thing originated, where it spread to, where at its furthest reach, it just stops. There's no displacement of the soil, it seems. It cuts trees, it just shears them straight off the edges. And it doesn't look like anything was broken.
So there was no concussive force.
There was exactly. There was just energy that made stuff gone.
Huh.
And you start to make that out about 10 feet away. You figured you'd have been able to see the lip from further back, but because of the way this crater was formed, the trees are still in the way until you're right there. And then all of a sudden it's oh, there it is. It's right through here. Crater.
Then that would mean that the start of the crater is probably like straight down, but only slightly curved.
Yeah, at the lip. If you get close enough to look, it's definitely. You can see that happening.
Ugh.
Is this Dalaran?
No, that one was broken and messy.
I suppose, yeah. You're right. I think, and we can see into the spherical
Yep.
hole. Do we see any more of those flying things?
It's hard to tell. You don't see them out over the crater, that's for sure.
Okay.
And now you do have, again, a very thick forest canopy blocking your view of the sky.
Sure. I say we try to find where these things are.
Okay.
Unless somebody has a reason not to.
Who doesn't want death?
They seem to be trying to stop what's going on.
I mean, if they're mechanical, obviously someone's programmed them to do something, so maybe we can find out where that is, or... Yeah. No, let's...
Alright.
So is that how you wanted to get to the middle of the crater before, so...
I did, but I don't know what we'd find in the middle of the crater. Yeah, especially because now I can't cast detect magic.
And it is dark.
Yeah. I thought maybe we would see something obvious, like once we got to the lip also, but I guess we're not seeing anything, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go west then.
Okay.
Alright.
So as the sun starts to set, it starts to get dark, you guys change bearing away from the crater and you start to head west. How long do you want to go in the night? So, I mean, it's evening right now. It's not night, but it is dark in the forest.
I mean, probably not too much longer.
I don't want to rest in this forest.
I don't think we're going to have an option.
Well, I
agrees with Panic.
yeah, I think it would be I think we should risk going outside of this area of effect.
A little exhaustion.
Just go through the night then, and just
No,
skip
no,
it
no,
out.
I'm not saying we skip a rest. I'm saying we go out of this area of the forest to rest.
Well, that would be a pretty long trip. You noticed the strange phenomenon pretty early on.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you look at the map, I mean, if it took us, it's going to take about the same to get out of the forest area. That's considering that wherever those things came from are outside of the forest.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not the case. But I mean, like Mav said, I mean, we can go. If you don't want to rest in the forest, we can just keep going.
I think it would be. I think we're risking a lot to sleep here.
All right. Yeah.
Based on what we saw. However,
I can't say Othig would be especially willing to
sleep
rest
here.
out here.
Yeah.
So
I'm almost wondering. If this foam is that like foam? Is it still like really even on us at this point anymore, or is that just going?
It's all evaporated or faded off.
Okay, all right, never mind then. I was wondering if there's any of that lingering that it might protect us from some errant magical effects coming out.
why don't you try seeing if you can ritual cast detect magic now again?
How close to the crater are we though? Because the closer we were getting to the crater, the harder it was getting to cast.
Yeah, you're right next to the edge of the crater. You're 15 feet from it tops. I mean, Othig got close enough to kind of peer down.
Mav would, when we're talking about resting, the only thing Mav would warn us is that if we don't rest, metagaming wise, we have disadvantage on Arcana checks. So,
Yeah. I don't want to rest here. I at least don't want to rest right next to the lip, anyways.
no.
Well, let's go for a couple hours.
Yeah. So what time was it? What time? It was basically sunset.
It's basically sunset. So you know night's coming. You know you still have some travel time, but it will be dark. You have dark vision, so you won't be impaired that way traveling through the forest, but you're in a weird place.
Yeah.
We can get away for a while, so let's at least go and then see if you can do a cast.
Let's definitely go a couple of hours.
Okay.
And if we come up to something great, if we don't, then we'll start to really look at what kind of arrest we can make.
Yeah, we can try casting something, or we'll just reevaluate the situation.
Yeah.
So you guys press on for about 3 hours, and you begin to. Are you continuing to ritual cast detect magic every 10 minutes?
I haven't cast it since I had that stuff on me, so I'm not casting it. I mean, I might once I'm a couple hours away from the crater, I might test it to see what's up.
Okay. All right. So you guys, after you cast it a couple hours away, you guys are all covered in raw magic. Like you see that when you cast it. It's almost like when somebody gets out of the pool, it looks like you're wet with magic. It's just you're covered in it. And as you do that, you begin to hear a bit of a commotion a little bit further off to the west. It sounds like those drones are doing something not too far from you, maybe 30 yards.
Hey,
What's up?
Thanik,
What?
teach me how to cast a spell real quick. How do I do it?
What? I'm gonna ask a meta question for a second. What's your intelligence at?
Oh, it's 8. That's 8.
I don't actually think you are even capable of.
That's my point.
Okay.
The freaking cat.
I will. Let's see. What do I even have? That's.
Well, it looks like he's saying it too.
It's
Actually, he could use the U wand that's in the party sheet.
Okay, here's the thing. So I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but Mike, I want to see if this is possible. So I want Thanik to basically help me test if I can do this. Someone who's not adept at magic at all. If us being drenched in magic has basically allowed me to be able to do something with it.
Sure.
I'll teach him how. I will at least attempt to teach him how to cast deflecting.
To cast what?
Deflecting. That's my shield that I put up. It's a cantrip.
Ryan, go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
This is gonna be awful.
Can I assist him in this?
Yeah, you're instructing, so you're insisting, so you can have advantage.
Yeah.
Come on, that 20.
Okay, so Thanik has detect magic up, and you begin to cast this spell, this warding spell. And Thanik, you watch as the magic residue on Othig begins to writhe and bubble, and all of a sudden a magical shield appears around Othig. And he is currently floating a little bit off the ground inside of a purple shimmering ball. There is no longer any magic on him. It is now all in this ball.
I'll take a whack at him. I'll just punch him. I'll just punch him. I'm not going to swing at a weapon. But.
Right. The ball kind of bounces and rolls a little bit further away. You watch as Othig stays upright in it, but the ball hamster balls away.
I taught you Odalix Resilient. I don't even know how to cast that.
It definitely looks like that might be the spell that came out.
Okay.
Alright. I feel like we could tactically use this somehow, but I don't know how.
How do the Hornets feel about this?
The Hornets?
Yeah.
Well, the drones?
Drones.
They have not responded to this.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm in a
I'll tell
floating
both things to
magical
stop
hamster ball.
concentrating.
Yes, you are floating in a magical hamster ball.
I'll tell him to stop concentrating.
That shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
Concentration. What's that?
Does it work?
Othig's not even sure he was concentrating much to begin with.
That's true.
There seems to be no effect on the ball.
Oh, you're stuck in that now.
I don't even know if that's a bad thing.
I mean, yeah, because
Like, Othig doesn't know any better if that's good or bad at this point.
You do realize you are able to move this around. If you start walking, the ball does roll.
sounds like we got a new combat maneuver.
I mean, it's kind of where I was going with it from the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know like how long this is gonna last, or if this like has any sort of permanence after we're out of this area. But
Well,
I feel like
yes.
that's exactly it.
100%. That's what is happening.
So good.
Well, we still have the drones that are not far off.
All right, let's just get towards them.
Yeah.
Am I adding anything to my AC right now, or what? Like, what did this thing do?
Well, nothing physical, energy, or spell effects can pass through the barrier in or out, though a creature in the sphere can breathe just fine. The sphere is immune to all damage, and the creature or object inside can't be damaged by attacks or effects originating from outside, nor can a creature inside the sphere do anything outside of it. You're in an impervious bubble.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh. This is good. Let's go towards the buzzing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys start walking towards the buzzing, and unfortunately, Othig, as good as this was, after a minute, the sphere pops and you tumble to the ground.
Oh, okay.
Dang it.
What happens to the magic that was around?
He is not covered in magic at all right now. I mean, there's still a little bit in the air, and so
But not like we are.
No, he had used it up in a very strange fashion.
So that was your mana. You used your mana.
Yep.
Nice.
So as you guys get closer to the buzzing of the drones, you come onto a scene where these things they're flying all over the place, and at first it looks like chaos, but it's not. It's obviously, after looking at it a little bit, it's very well organized, almost symphonic the way that they're moving in chorus together, and they are spraying down the area with that foam. And as one of them expires its charge of foam, it flies off and another one takes its place. And it looks like they're coating the trees and the ground and everything in the area. And Thanak, at this point, I would say Detect Magic goes down right when you get here. There is no magical effect beyond the area that they're working, into the forest to the west.
Okay.
You want to take a rest here?
Sure.
We should probably find out, like, from these things, like, they talked to us before, right?
They did, but they basically just gave a straightforward answer and left. They weren't necessarily having conversation. They were mostly, like, identifying themselves the way that a police force would.
Maybe we can try again. Maybe we should try again.
Sure. Go for it.
Well, actually, if there's like a cacophony of them like bolting after expending their like phone charge, then we should be able to. Yeah, we should be able to track them pretty well to wherever their source of origination is.
That would not be hard. There's a steady stream of them coming in and out of this area. almost in like a 2-lane highway style fashion.
So your options are take a rest or follow.
Yeah, does it seem like they're going far?
It's hard to tell in the dark in the forest. And see, maybe not. I would say you guys would probably interpret it as they're not going too far because of how many there's constantly streaming into this area. They can't be going that far.
Let's go for a while.
Hey, I have a question, Mike. Meta question. You had said before, and I don't remember what I want to say. It is entirely possible that I dreamed this.
Okay.
Because I don't remember the context of anything else other than you saying this, but maybe you didn't say it. That if we went without a rest, we wouldn't depending on how glorious our day was, we wouldn't necessarily have. You didn't say this. You didn't say this. Now that I'm saying this out loud, I was like, I didn't say this. No, but I was thinking. What in my head I was thinking if depending on how laborious our day was, we wouldn't get exhaustion necessarily. But if we went any further, then we'd have we get exponential exhaustion.
That was actually talking about forced marching. I did say that, but it was having to do with forced marches. So just skipping a rest wouldn't cause that, but if you were double timing it through the forest trying to get someplace in a hurry, yes, that would have exponential. This was when you were trying to flee out of the Underdark.
That's okay.
Yep.
All right.
So I know the exact context of this, and it affected just not you, but your armies as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So no, that's
we wouldn't necessarily just be hit with exhaustion in the next hour.
No, you'd have to go like 24 hours without a rest. You might pick up exhaustion if you continue to move past 16, but
okay.
Yeah, but you're not there yet. You've only been going about 12. So
okay, all right. So do we want to see how far we can go then? I mean, we're dwarves. We're hardy.
Yep, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you continue to follow the line, and as you pass into this area, you do get foamed. They spray you down, and you come out clean on the other side, magically. So you've passed through, and they just continue to work. It looks like they're just working an area and spreading out from it. After they foam an area, they move a little further on, and they foam some more of it.
Do our magical items still work?
You don't know at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, Othig is still sprinting around in his boots.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would know. You would have figured that out after the first dousing.
Okay.
That your magical gear seemed to be somehow immune to this effect, or the effect isn't designed to destroy that kind of magic.
Okay.
So you follow this line of drones for another hour, and they just keep coming. You want to keep going?
Yeah.
3 hours later, you arrive at a clearing. In the middle of this clearing is a huge metal pyramid. These drones are flying up out of the pinnacle of this pyramid. It's probably 300 feet tall.
Yikes.
Can we have a reference on the map where this is?
You're about halfway to the river from... Yeah, I'll move my pointer to it. No, not on that screen. Blink. You're right about there.
The white arrow?
Yeah, the white arrow.
Map.
Oh, sorry. I don't think I ever shared this one with you guys. Yeah, I did.
We have the void open.
Yeah, that's the one. The white arrow on the void.
Okay.
That was marked before.
I just moved it. Yeah, it was further over to the east. I just moved it more to the west now.
Yeah. All right.
It's just to the south of the crater?
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, it's not on the edge like you guys were. It's further in from that, but it's not far from the edge of the crater.
Sure.
We went 4 hours and moved like a quarter of an inch on this map?
Yeah, about that. The crater is not quite to scale. So the map's a little wonky. I just wanted the bigger crater so you'd have the effect of, like, holy crap, that's huge. So.
Oh, but you did say it took us a day to get down from the mountains.
I did. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to do? There are thousands of these drones. And you see that the area that they were going to that you followed back is not the only area they're going. They're also going off to the northwest and to the west and a little bit to the south.
Do they seem to care that we're there?
Nope, they don't. They don't care at all.
Is there any openings that we can see?
There are several openings along the bottom of the pyramid. There's a lot of light pouring out of them.
How about we go in?
Yeah.
Go in!
Okay, so you go in, and as you get closer to the pyramid, you see they're not just round drones. You see some square ones. You see some triangle ones. You see they're all sorts of different shapes. The more sides they have, the larger they are. The more arms they have. Sometimes there's quad drones and pentadrones, and they are all over the place. They seem to be doing different jobs too. Like the larger ones seem to be responsible for refueling the smaller ones, and they're managing other things like that. As you get closer, a large, like, pentadrone lands right in front of you, and it asks you your business.
Well, let's just... I feel like I would just tell it what we're trying to figure out, like, what happened here, what do you guys do?
Okay, so it responds with the exact same question. What is your business?
Look for some friends.
We had friends that were in a tower that used to be in the middle of that crater. We're trying to figure out what happened. What happened?
Their friends are gone, and it just takes off.
Jeez.
Matt just turns the panic. Okay, mission accomplished.
So you guys are standing there watching this thing fly away, and you hear a voice from inside the doorway to the pyramid that you're heading for. And it says, "Are you here to help? What are you doing here?" And you look over, and there's this little elderly gnome. He's leaning on a staff, and
Of course it is.
And he's like, "Well, the drone didn't disintegrate you, so you don't mean it to any harm. What do you need?"
I will respond in Gnomish. We are here to help.
Fantastic. Come in then. There's not a lot of functional help around here. There's a lot of muscle power, but not a whole lot of intelligence. And he's just kind of stomping his.
Just turn and look at Otheg and just nod.
He's like, "So who sent you? Why are you here?"
I guess we sent us.
Oh, my monitor just went black for half a second and then came back on. I was a little weirded out by it.
I would let him know we are here. We're from Clan Granite Back, as well as on behalf of the Weave Guardians.
And the Order.
And the Order, yeah.
Okay, his ears peek up at the second half of your introduction. He doesn't care about Clan Granite Back.
I'm sure.
He just waves his hands out. He's like, "Clansman." "Oh, Weave Guardians," you say. "Very interesting." And the Order. "About time they took notice of this." And he opens up a door as he's led you down this long, like, metal-lined hallway. And he opens up this door into this vast chamber. There's like 150 people working in here. They're casting magical spells. They're writing notes. They're all dressed similarly. You assume they're all arcane casters in one fashion or another. And they are working diligently on all sorts of different devices. They're tinkering with the drones. They're doing all sorts of work. And this gnome was basically just berating the fact that he had no help. But there's like 200 people here.
Plenty of people here. Okay.
He's like, "Well, come in. There have been some people coming to help with the problem, interested parties. I've got most of these morons on my own. We're not making much headway against the tear, though.
What do we know so far?
Well, whatever it was that actually came out, it created a massive tear in the weave as it busted loose from the prison it was in the Hells and just came here by itself without permission. You don't just get out of the Hells. And, well, what you see is it's completely destabilized the weave in the region.
I would ask him if he knew anything about the sleeper.
He's up to speed on that whole business. When he says whatever it was, he's more talking categorically, like what style of Fae. Not that he's ignorant of the event.
Okay.
But that type
I wasn't sure if it sounded like it was actually unrelated or not, but it was related, but...
Definitely. He would fill you in that this tower in particular, once the Nightmare Lord started to push through, this tower went into lockdown mode to try and contain the portal that it was going to come through, which ultimately is what caused the tear in the weave. They were putting too much of their own magical power into containing this portal, and when it broke through, it shattered everything. And so nobody knows what happened to them after that because they've never seen a phenomenon like this, he would tell you. It's bizarre. But that's the hypothesis of what happened.
Sure. Is he familiar with what kind of safeguards would be in place at a mage tower?
The highest level, most powerful wizards in the world run the mage's towers. At least the ones that aren't out there trying to raise some demon or activate the throne of bones or bring the sun crashing into the ocean.
Well, we'll get to that later. So here's my question, and maybe I'm just completely off. Is there a tear still there?
The whole thing's a tear.
Okay, so is it
fixable?
Here's my question, and maybe he's got no idea. Is it something along the line of the Mage's Tower itself saw what was happening, and so they tried to functionally banish themselves?
He kind of looks at you and he cocks an eyebrow. He's like, "Now that's interesting." And he goes over and he's like, "Roland, get over here!" And he summons some like intern who comes running over with a pile of scrolls. He's like, "I was just looking at filing all of these, sir." And he's like, "Put it down!" And so he puts them down. He's like, "Those are valuable!" And he just gets all like angry and chaotic. And so basically he says, "Write this down. What if the tear in the weave is actually a barrier containing a tear in the weave?" And Roland's like, "So like a weaveception then?" And the gnome is like, "Yeah, yes, just like that. He's inside of the thing it's inside of. It's fascinating."
Pocket in a pocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe. Bring me my astrolabe and he lists off several other instruments, and so he's standing around waiting, and some elevator music starts playing in the background while he's waiting. And so this guy, he comes back and he starts to set up all this instrumentation, and the gnome goes to work, and he gets inside of this astrolabe, and so things start spinning around him, and things are lining up, and these monocle pieces slap down over his eye, and he's staring off into the distance, and then he turns it off, and it all kind of opens back up, and he steps out. He's like, "If you're right, then it needs to be anchored somewhere, and we can't fix our tear without bringing it back.
Right.
But I don't know how to find the anchor." And he's walking around pacing, and he's scratching his long beard, and he's as he's thinking, he's casting minor illusion spells, and he's basically minor illusioning out the problem in front of him, and he's trying different scenarios, and like every one of them ends up with an explosion.
Yeah.
It's like that's how it ends.
We're good at those.
He's like, "I'm gonna need some time to work on this."
Are they like small explosions or big explosions?
No, they're big explosions. They're definitely bad explosions.
What if he just zooms out? Are they still bad?
Yeah, they're real bad.
So he's not just like zoomed in really close.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really not.
Yeah. You ask him to zoom out, and he basically zooms out, and you see the planet and the sun and the other planet over here, and it just all explodes.
Oh yeah, we don't want that.
It's like that might be a bit overkill, but.
But no, I mean this is functionally putting a bag of holding in a bag of holding.
Except it's planet-sized, yeah.
Yeah.
Functionally.
So you're talking to him, and then all of a sudden, all of the lighting in the room goes from that standard yellowish magical light to red, and it starts flashing, and a warning horn starts going off, and you hear like the drones in unison, like with this voice. They're like, mana incursion, weave rip, and they all start flying all over.
We're gonna fight kaijus. We gotta get in our Jaegers.
And so you hear all this noise outside of the pyramid, and the gnome yells, "All right, time to go to work!" And like everybody starts running out of different exits from the pyramid.
Let's go with them.
Okay, so you guys run out into the field around the pyramid, and you watch as there's all these tears in the sky opening up, and these creatures come screaming out of them. And I'm guessing you're going to have to roll initiative, because I mean everybody starts fighting these creatures.
All right.
Can you have to have my note 25, please?
I can't.
Oh, that was a 20. I thought you just rolled a D10. I was like, that's not how you do that.
That's how Matt does it. He's like, I will go first.
Yeah.
Are we still in the area where magic is a no-no?
It does not appear to be the case, especially because it looks like a lot of the other magicians are casting spells as well.
Excellent.
Okay.
And I am going to throw open that same map. No, we'll just use this one.
Am I still covered in...
I was just about to ask that myself.
Are you what?
Are we,
Are we
are Matt and
covered in
I
our
still
goo?
covered in stuff, or were we cleansed from them?
No, you're not covered in that stuff anymore.
Okay.
Can they be?
Yeah.
You could definitely have the drone cover you in non-magical foam.
No, the other stuff.
No. The other
The
stuff.
magical dust from the...
Oh, no, you cannot be. There's no place to get into that. You've walked a long ways from the edge of that now.
Okay.
You walked hours through the cleansed forest.
Lame.
I know.
Yeah, sorry.
Alright, that's fine.
No bonus spells out here.
Just one random spell was all I was looking for.
just
one
Wand of Wonder use, basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would like to cast Wand of Wonder.
You know, just in case.
Yeah.
Where did Othin go?
Who knows that kid?
This kid's great.
Alright, so... No, not rest. What? Stop it. No. Alright, one more sec here. So the things flying out of these tears of the weave, they kind of look serpent-like with wings, and they have longish tails on them that end in like a blazing ball of magic. And last little thing I'm doing. There we go. And they are surrounding you. Everywhere else around you, you see
Weaverin.
you see people fighting these things as well. Yeah. So, Mav, you're up first as these creatures are swooping towards you from a tear that your group has decided to handle.
Well, I think that will call for... Do these look like...
Scary?
I'm just thinking, like, do these look like real creatures?
They look real, but they appear that their reality is built out of magic. They look real like an elemental looks real.
Would I be able to do an Arcana check to determine whether or not I would think that they would be prone to blindness?
You sure can.
You probably just have to touch one again and kill it outright.
They do have eyes, and it does look like they're looking around.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Alright, so several of them are now blinded. 2 of them.
3 of them.
3 of them are now blind.
Isn't that 4?
No, one of them succeeded.
One of them was me.
Oh, you cast on yourself. I get it.
I was really hoping that I was a success, but
Yeah.
I was in fact not. I must have rolled a nat 1 on that. Nope. I rolled a 2. So.
Alright, so this one is blinded, and so what it is going to do is it's going to move closer to you guys, but it is not going to attempt to attack everybody, and it begins to radiate just raw magical power. Not like the stuff that was collecting on you from the forest, but just like raw force damage. So I need Thanak to make a dexterity saving throw. Othig should be over.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm gonna use. No, I'll take it.
Okay. You take it. You're going to take 8 points of force damage. And where this force damage hits you, you watch as, like, I'm guessing you're a dwarf, you didn't much take care of yourself as you were tromping through the forest, you've been covered in foam and other junk multiple times. Wherever this force damage hit you, you look real clean.
Hey, Thanak gets a shower. Oh, go take one.
I totally polished my armor for it. Thank you.
Yep, all of the dirt and the exterior grime and all that has been removed.
Huh. On my beard, too?
Well, the edges of it where it hit your beard are singed off.
Oh, now I'm pissed.
Yeah. Yep. So that was its turn.
Not my beard!
Thanak, you're up.
Well, I'm pissed now. I was happy with him cleaning my armor, but now that he...
Yeah, you feel like you're familiar with this presence, like it gave you a bit of disintegration power.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna try to hit him.
Ooh,
Why is that? Oh, because he's
he's
blind.
blind.
Blinded.
You're welcome.
Is he bleeding or not?
He is. Yeah, he can bleed.
Okay.
I would hope so.
Well, I don't know if he was like just magic or not.
Yeah.
That he wouldn't bleed.
No, he's solid
I
enough to bleed.
suppose.
He's solid. I'll fix that.
You're welcome for both of those.
Yeah, for real.
Yes.
Just
for
so you
real.
know.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you whap into him and cause a bleeding effect on him, his blood hits the ground and it turns into little bluish colored insects, the same color as these creatures, and they just begin to scamper off.
Oh, what are you doing?
Oh.
Red alert! Red alert!
Othig, you're up.
How big are the creatures?
They're small. They're beetle-sized. But the blood, as it pools up, it just kind of bubbles out, and then just they scamper off. They're really strange looking, too.
Leave it to Thanak.
Huh.
Gonna use the Glaive of Banish.
Yeah, you are.
Uh-oh. Oh, I thought that was a 19.
Oh, neither one of you did what I was hoping you were going to do.
What?
Okay. That's all good.
There, that one crits.
There's a crit. So I need to make a saving throw.
Just make sure that when you crit, it's on your last possible hit.
Well,
Right?
Alright.
nice.
That was Othig's turn. So that's his whole turn. So now it is the other 3 Weaverins. I love that. This one is blinded, so I might need to make a directional roll. This guy flies over to here, and you see him pop his bubble, but he's not close enough to anybody to get him. This one is
I'm
blind.
gonna make my attack at him.
Yeah, as he moves into range. That will give him a sense of where you are, though. So he will alter course if you make an attack at him.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Okay, so let me... Yeah, he does zone in on you a little bit better. It looks like he's going to fly past you. He expected to find you in a spot you were not. And so he does do his radiance thing, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Well, that one's much better than the one I hit Thanok with. So you feel like your skin is just tense and on fire as like this aura covers you, and it just starts to eat away at everything on the extremity of you, and you're going to take 27 points of damage.
Buddy.
Significantly worse than...
That's the difference between a 1 and a 2 and a 10 and an 8
Yeah.
on the roll, and then the base damage that it does. And so number 3 can see, and it's going to come in here after Mr. Mav. And you watch as it begins to boil up magic in its mouth, and it's going to breathe it out at you.
Is it raw magic?
It is raw magic. You do feel like you could suck this up, though, because there is a focus point of it.
Just open your mouth.
Yeah.
It is a level 4's worth of spell.
Okay, so I don't have to suck it up.
Mm-mm.
Mav is going to suck it up.
Okay. Alright, so you suck it up, and it has nothing left to do this turn. As it leans forward like it's going to breathe out on you, and then it just kind of like stops and looks around a little bit. It's confused Vincent Wyvern.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the heck just happened to my face? Alright, I gotta make saving throws for the blind guys. What's your spell DC?
19.
Oh gosh. No, they don't make that. Alright. We're pushing that up there, aren't we? We're gonna have to... Alright, Mav, you're up.
So Mav is going to... Well, let's just do this. Let us inflict wounds.
Oh,
Now,
that's tragic.
that is tragic. I don't have anything else I can do.
Nope, because you can't even fix a nat 1 with your doohickey.
No, I could add 10, but that's not going to fix the problem.
Nope, it's not. That is unfortunate. Alright, well, that's Mav's turn. Thanok, you're up.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I will... Is number 2 blind?
4 and 2 are blind.
I'm gonna...
Should grab that one by Mav or the one that's by me.
Yeah, I
Just
can't
let that other
actually
blind
see.
one fumble around in
I
the
can't
dark.
see
Oh, I didn't do 2's turn. I skipped 2. Give me a sec. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Is there a grid on here? Because I totally can't see any squares.
You can't. Unfortunately, there is a grid. If you zoom way in, you can see it, but it's hard. I never realized that about this map, about this grass. I already wrote a note about it to next time I update my campaign module to fix the grass.
Okay.
haven't looked to see if you can change the grid color in Unity yet. I heard you were going to be able to.
You may be able to. I don't remember.
Oh, so he didn't do anything. I get it.
Yeah, he's not sure. He's looking for someone to attack. You saw him light up, but he didn't.
He didn't do anything.
Yeah, he didn't hit anybody.
Oh, no. How big are these things?
They're large. So 10 by 10. It's a 10-foot wide lizard. Magic mana lizard.
I have to bleed him, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Super that. Whoops. And yeah, that'll be it.
Okay. So you lay a few more attacks in on him, do some more damage. Again, you guys are watching as these things, when they bleed, little bugs sprout where the blood comes down. Now, Othig wouldn't be doing this too, because obviously when you hit something, you're making it bleed. You're just doing it in an obnoxious amount. Yeah. Othig, you're up.
I'm going to butt swing at number 4 first.
Okay. You have to make a main attack before you can make a butt swing.
Oh, yeah?
That's the way that works.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I can just count that as my regular attack, right?
You sure can.
And then I'm going to move away from it.
Okay. You didn't even need to attack it, Ryan. It's blind.
Well, I wasn't sure, like, if that still works.
It can't take attacks of opportunity on somebody if it's blind.
Okay, then can you add the damage back?
Yeah, and you want me to give it to number 3?
Yeah, because I just attacked that one then.
Sure thing. Yeah, I didn't realize that's what you were doing. I can definitely adjust that.
That's it.
Alright, so you lay a few more whacks into number 3, and it is now their turn. So 4 is going to... I need to make some checkage. Oh, those are terrible rolls. Which direction does that guy fly? Well, alright, at least he doesn't go too far away. He moves back down over here. This one, you watch as its tail lights up and it slams in the ground right where Othig was a few moments ago, and you watch as all this magical energy crackles off of that tail, and there is a huge, like, black spot on the ground where Othig was just not too terribly long ago. This one, number 3, can't see you guys. Does he get his breath weapon back? He does not. So
we're all grouped up.
It is going to attempt to bite. Othig's the one who's just pounding on it, so we're going to attempt to bite and tail Othig here. So the bite is going to hit with a 17 on the dice plus 6. That's 23. That hits you, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So let me... Alright, this sucker chomps down on you for 19 points of damage, and then the stinger, I need you to make a dexterity... No, it missed, so it only does half damage on the miss. So it is going to... You're going to take 12 points of force damage as the stinger glances off of you. It doesn't really hit you, but it still causes quite a bit of pain as it wails on you. Mav, you're up.
Mav is going to attempt to, again, that Will hit.
Okay. Riven, by the way, Riven number 4 is no longer blind.
Okay.
It's saved from the effect.
We'll do that anyways. Okay.
Alright, so you inflict some serious wounds on that critter this time. And then it is Thanok's turn.
Alright.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Ooh, almost max damage. Very nice.
That's sweet.
I assume that doesn't make him bleed.
No, that one will not.
Okay.
That is still enough.
Nice, man.
That is still enough. Not by a lot, but enough. Alright.
I'm gonna move. Because you said 4 is not blind?
4 is not blind.
Okay, hold on. I can't see these things. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna move. There.
Okay.
And then that's it for me.
Sounds good. As this thing is dying, you watch as it kind of, like... If you were to watch something fast decompose, like in time-lapse video, that's kind of what this does, but it doesn't look like decomposition. It just looks like it breaks down into its elemental bases and components, and then dissolves into the field.
Huh. Alright.
Let's see. 2 are down. You are now watching drones spraying fluid like into the tear that these things came out of. And you see them doing that all across the area.
Okay. How do the parties look like they are handling these things?
They're doing adequate. Not as well as you are. It looks like this is a dangerous situation, but for the most part they're used to it.
Okay.
They don't have any surprised looks on their faces.
Okay.
Oh, Thig.
Gonna swing.
Rerolled into a 2. And
There we go.
there's a nat 20.
And bye-bye, right?
I can make a saving throw, but oh, that's a nat 1, so bye-bye. Boop.
And let's see. I can make it.
Do it. Go get him.
And I'll still have movement afterwards.
It's so funny, like, Weston's home today, so there's all this noise going on out there that I'm not used to. And it's not like noisy noise, he's just like talking to himself and singing and being excited that there's pizzas in the freezer. I'm not used to that. Alright, so... Othig was just there, so it is going to attempt to find him.
I don't need you to judge me in my life choices. Thank you very much.
You just go make your pizza. Thank you.
Make pizza. I have a lot of cheese.
Alright, it's got a decent idea of where you guys went, so it flies over to here, and it is going to attack... Ryan, you can whap at it if you want.
Yes, I would love to.
I bet you would.
Nice
That's a
reroll.
nice reroll.
Yeah, it is.
So it is going to make 2 attacks at Thanok at disadvantage, and it is going to miss with both of those. It tries to bite you, and it tries to smack you with its charged tail. And both of those will miss. Mav, you're up.
Mav is going to take a step forward because it's still blind, correct?
Yeah, it is still blind. Oh wait, I didn't make my saving throw. Hold on. Before you roll damage. Nope, it's definitely still blind. That's a 3 on the dice. You know, I should have given these guys magic resistance. They're made of magic. That would have made sense.
It would have made sense.
Oh well, too late.
Yeah, but, I mean, we're made of atoms. And if an atom hits me very hard, it still hurts.
But you don't know that it doesn't hurt less than if you weren't made of atoms.
I suppose that's true.
You can't test that.
You can't. You're correct. You are correct.
All right, Kennock, it's your turn.
I'm gonna try something stupid. How big is its tail?
It's large. It's easily as big as you. It's not that big around, but it's big. It's like 7-8 feet long.
Can I grapple its tail?
You could most certainly try.
And then can I stab it with its own tail?
You could make a grapple check first.
Like, you really want this to work, too.
Let me make an opposed check. Oh, man. So you're definitely on its tail and it's thrashing around, but you're hanging on. It's your action to grapple. If you'd like to action surge, you can attempt to direct the tail into the creature.
Yeah, I would definitely like to do that. How do I do that?
roll it. Yeah, I mean, I guess make another grapple check as you try to wrestle it.
20. Oh.
19. Well, it's not terrible.
I'm gonna use my gong.
Yeah, you are.
So 21. Alright, so I don't know what to do here. I seriously don't. This is not off the rails, but this is unexpected. So what happens when a creature made of pure magic that's releasing magical energy in a damaging form does... Okay, so it's a nat 1 that I just rolled. So that's real bad for the creature. whatever this is. It explodes. Like, sure. The force feedback of magic, it's almost like taking electricity and looping it in back upon itself. It's just really, it's not good at all. And this thing just, its aura that it likes to exude when it can't get close enough to attack things goes off and it blows up. I need you and Othig to make dexterity saving throws.
Don't shake your head. That was awesome.
Okay, you're both going to take 32 points of force damage.
I'm okay with that.
As a wave of light disintegration power washes over you, you take a bunch of damage. This thing starts to stumble around. It is currently blinded and confused by what has now happened to it.
And they unleashed the sun.
Blinded by the light.
Alright, so you found out that they do not do well if they're attacked by their own charged tail.
Yeah.
We've all found this out with my native creature for the evening.
Upon seeing what happened, Othig really wants to grab its tail and direct it towards Thanak.
No, that was awesome. Modern problems require modern solutions.
Instead, I'm just going to attack it
Modern
like a normal dwarf.
Oh, thing's just looking over the shoulder. This is what you're supposed to do.
Yep, and he gets another kill because of it. So this one rides around, decomposes like the other one. You feel like after watching it again, you feel like it's not decomposing, but the magic holding this thing together just is unraveling. And so if maybe you wonder what it would look like if you had detect magic up. It just looks different. So this goes on for a little while. You guys wrap up your fight just about at the same time. The others are wrapping up. A few are done before you. A few are done afterwards. You're watching the gnome just wield an obnoxious amount of magical power. He's using Bigby's hand to hold one. He's casting blasts of magical rays out of the other one. There are giant...
I'll yell at him. I'll yell at him to use Bigby's hands to make him stab himself.
Oh, okay. He gives a good whack and finds out that that's very useful, and then he yells for Roland to write that down.
See?
But he's using a lot of illusionary magic as well in the fight. There's big giants like swatting things out of the sky that are obviously illusions, but they're definitely doing damage to the creatures. The whole thing wraps itself up rather quickly, and then all the drones go back from being red and glowing back to their normal colorization, and they almost immediately go back about their business.
Oh.
Like nothing happened at all.
Alright.
Of course they do.
Everybody else, like the other humanoids, they kind of gather themselves back together, talk a little bit, look around, and in short order they go back to work.
Alright. I just want to point out that we've been here 15 minutes and we've already,
And you've what?
we've already expanded this gnome's horizons on
Twice.
Yeah.
What? You're saying we've done more for him in 15 minutes than all these other fools?
yeah.
Well, he said he thought everybody else was an idiot, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Proving our worth.
Yep.
Let's
So he goes back inside, invites you to come back inside with him. As you go back inside, you see that there are hundreds of drones not flying out of the pyramid, but they are spraying everything down with magical foam. And the gnome tells you that that's to stop the weave mites that, and he describes the creatures that you saw forming out of these things' bloods. What these things do is they seek magical sources and they will absorb its energy and then grow into. He asks if you know what a tardigrade is.
I mean, do I know what a tardigrade is?
I don't know. Yeah, you guys don't. You would.
I mean, I know what a tardigrade is.
It's basically a small, invincible, armored creature that eats everything. They're really destructive. And so he says if you fight more of those and you're on your own, he said make sure you check yourselves afterwards that you don't have any weave mites on you or in your things. Because they will leech your magical power.
Alright, good to know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that.
I would like to, when the time is...
Actually, Mav might have heard of them, of weave mites before. Because it's one of the theories that, because they start almost microscopic, these ones are operating a little different. It's one of the things that they think give Bastions their powers, is that he has parasites.
You're that's awesome and gross. Are we gonna fight you at the end of the campaign?
So, if I absorb the power of a weave mite that absorbs my power, can I absorb my power from the weave mite that absorbs my power?
That might be how you destroy the universe.
Yeah.
We all thought it would be Gabe, but it's Mav.
When time is permitting, I would like to talk to what's the gnome's name?
You never asked.
Yeah, we didn't.
He introduces himself as Kelrin.
Kelrin.
Kelvin?
Kelrin.
That name is familiar.
Oh no!
It should be familiar. This is a Tony character from the campaign where Andy played the Minotaur. Is
that the one? Is that the one that you disallowed him to use?
Yes, I told Tony I was not well enough versed in the mechanics of 5e, and Tony was playing an illusionist and just running amok, and I could not stop him. And so I didn't tell him he couldn't play him anymore. I was just trying to find a way to deal with Kelrin, and Tony started to feel bad that he was being a sore spot, so he moved on and played a different character.
Okay.
But shortly after that, it would have been fine. But it was hard. It is very hard to deal with an illusionist knowing the rules, not knowing the set really well. There were days where I felt like I was going to cry. It's like I'd planned this awesome encounter, and Tony'd be like, "Well, I cast this and ruin it all for you." Okay. Moving on. There goes 3 hours of my work down the drain. Yeah, no. So this is Kelrin.
This is him. Okay, cool. I would like to, like I said, maybe not necessarily right this second, but at some point, I would like to talk to him about what this foam is and how to
Sure.
manufacture it.
What time is it? It is 10 after 9. So we'll wrap up here in a little bit. I almost wish you would have asked him all those questions and then introduced him. I could have ended with, and his name is Kelvin, and then just left it on there. And then Tony would be sitting in the booth waiting for the show to start tomorrow and be like, "His name's what?" It would have been great, but he'll still probably do that anyways. So he explains to you that the foam is a byproduct of the plane of law. It takes raw magic and it disperses it back into the weave in usable form. And that the drones are Modrons. That this is their job as Modrons, is to contain and to deal with large magical outbreaks in a fashion that are uncontainable in every other way. And so they landed here almost immediately after the explosion and went to work. And others who live locally, because Kelvin lives in Bellanovia, who noticed there's probably a problem here, have been showing up steadily. Kelvin has just kind of inserted himself as to the in-charge role, as he's the oldest and probably the most intelligent of the group. So,
So that's not necessarily something that we'd be able to, that I'd be able to manufacture on my own.
He says probably not. People have been trying for millennia to do it and been unable to do it. It is a byproduct of the celestial plane of law that seems to be, it has to originate there.
Alright.
Because nobody's been able to figure out how to do it. And he says, believe me, I've taken apart a few drones recently and I can't figure out how they make the stuff at all. It just appears in a giant cylinder inside of them.
Okay. If one of the drones dies, for lack of a better term,
Yeah.
do they stay around or do they dissipate as well?
Typically, the others either salvage it immediately for parts or reactivate it if it's fixable.
So I wouldn't be able to take one and experiment on it.
No. There would be a few that are laying around that have been salvaged for parts, but finding one intact, you'd have to find one almost immediately, and within moments of it expiring, other drones come over and pick it up.
All right. All right. Well, if he wants to share notes, I would
Sure.
be interested.
He can swap some information with you. He does tell you something that you're probably very interested in. Before the red alert, you had mentioned you're with the Weave Guardians.
Yeah.
And he tells you about Felrin and Jenica and how they were some of the first to show up here after the explosion. They were actually coming to see what happened and to try and stop the Nightmare Plague. That was their main focus. But knowing that the Nightmare Lord came out of the tower, that's where they went in their mission. So they were here when all of this kind of first started, and they theorized that there was something beyond the edge of the crater, and they were going to go into it. Kelvin thinks that they seem to think that the crater was a portal to a different place, and that the only way to fix that was to go through that.
Yeah.
And so their theory, he thinks, was similar to yours, but off, because he didn't agree with them, and they kind of argued about it, and then they went and did their thing, and nobody's seen them since.
Well, that might be our next direction then.
Okay. He does like your... How did we describe it?
Anchor theory.
He needs to find an anchor, put the
Yeah.
bag of holding in a bag of holding.
Yeah, he does. He thinks that the way the magic had behaved on the outside edge of the sphere, that your theory about that really makes a bit more sense. And then he's kind of adding it back to their theory, and he mixes in a few of his. And he sits back and he's thinking, and he asks if you've learned much about the astral plane.
Not much. I mean, I know of it.
He says there's not a lot of people who do know much about it because it's so vague, but he explains it as the space between all the spaces. And so it's, if you're in the astral plane, if you're in the astral sea, it might look just like the prime, but when you move through things, it's different. It's not really there. He's like, you're moving between everything. And there are countless beings that live in this place, and he's starting to wonder and put together, and you've kind of given him some inspiration, and he thinks that's where whatever was inside of that crater went.
To the astral plane or the astral sea? What did you say?
Either or. It's the same thing.
Oh, okay. Well, does he know anybody who's been there?
Nope.
Well, I don't quite know what supplies to bring. Oh,
Probably some potions this time if we can.
Probably
I have some potions.
I should probably take some.
So
Yeah.
I think because there needs to be a little thought applied to this next step, that we'll probably stop here tonight, and we can chat about it on some Discord, and then Tony can chime in because Jeffrey and Olwyn would pop in almost immediately at the end of this conversation, and from their little jaunt and their trip to visit the Emperor's Voice in Zinji, and Olwyn would be limping very badly, kind of hunched over. It looked like he's in a lot of pain. He would tell you that he needs to go see a moose immediately, but he thought he better drop Jeff off first, and then he'd hop on his carpet and take off.
Alright. Is there always Jimi Hendrix playing whenever he is on?
No, there's all sorts of different stuff playing when he shows up. Yeah, it's not always Magic Carpet Ride. So, I think that's where we'll stop tonight. That's where I'll leave you guys.
Right.
It's at the edge of the crater that might lead to the Astral Sea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, alright.
Alright.
Well, you guys have a wonderful night.
You
You
too.
as well. Alright, good night, guys.
See you guys next
Good night, everybody.
See you later.